We live in a fast-paced world. It's a world where people who work the hardest and sacrifice the most are elevated to the level of hero. And they tell you, all this can be yours too if you're just willing to sacrifice it all.
But here's one thing I can promise you. You can all go home and hustle more.
I want to tell you the story of a man who you've never heard of, who has no desire to be elevated to the level of hero. But this is a person who I truly consider to be a hero. Hello friends and strangers, my name is John and welcome to my channel. Hey. I tell stories and I talk about mindset, motivation, mindset shifts, and all these kind of internet trendy things. But they've helped me in some way, and I want to return the favor. I want to in some way help somebody because tons of other people in this space have helped me. I'm currently in the process of piecing together a mini documentary short film kind of deal about a man and a group of people that I met when I first started using my camera and learning how to piece together movies. Neil Gore is one of the people who I want to focus on. He is an employee at the school my son used to go to. No matter what time of day or day of the week, I saw him at the school. He was always setting up chairs, talking to parents, or signing people up for free and reduced meals, walking the halls to help coordinate volunteers. I would go to the school every week with my son, and I would take him to what was called family engagement nights. During family engagement nights, you had people doing meditation, gardening, cooking, yoga, and I wanted to be a part of this. So I approached Neil and I asked him if he would mind me making some videos for him to use for their website and different social media platforms. He said yes. It was after he said yes and I started talking to him on a more regular basis, I started to realize the weight and the gravity of what Neil was doing. He was doing a job that literally could constitute an entire person's occupation and their title. And this job of organizing these events every week was just one of the many parts of the things that he was doing on a daily basis. As I progressed deeper into my freelance filmmaking career, I've met a lot of different people. It is one of my favorite jobs that I've ever had. When I am taking pictures of a home or making a motivational video for an insurance company, I'm always thinking about Neil and the volunteers I met. Many of them have very difficult and hard jobs, but yet they show up every week to help people who are oftentimes a little less fortunate. I keep thinking of them and I keep thinking, how do I get back to help? How do I make this a career? At this exact moment, I'm not quite sure. I do know that at the beginning of the year, after we'd moved away from that side of town and we were going through the school year here, and as I was developing more skills with my camera and as I was getting different jobs, I kept coming back to this idea of doing a mini documentary called Volunteer, and it was about hustle culture, but the side that you don't see, the side that isn't glamorized, the side that's always been there, the side that is the undercurrent of society and communities. And then the global pandemic happened, and everything changed. And I was bummed out. But then after a while, I thought, people like Neil, people like him, don't just stop. So I thought I can just kind of reconfigure and pivot my idea. So I reached out to him. To no surprise, Neil had been working. He was working twice as many hours as he was getting paid for by the school. When I drove to meet him, I parked in an empty parking lot in front of an empty school. It was late into June and the temperature was nearly 100 degrees. He was the only one in the school building on a Wednesday. He was loading coolers of food that lined his Jeep, with gallons of milk and other foods for families in the area. Thankfully, he had the coolers, because otherwise the milk would have spoiled as he drove around the east side of Indianapolis without any AC. Neil is one of the most inspiring people I have ever met in my entire life, hands down. That day when I was riding around with him and he was taking foods to different families and we were in that very, very hot car, he told me about how he wanted to grow up and be a pastor in a church. He wanted to be a community organizer and leader. He went to school. He did all the things. He got his master's in theology, and he had landed what he thought was a dream job. It was pretty quick into that he realized these people and their politics are not helping the people that I truly think need to be helped. So he left the church and went and hit the streets, and he's been working harder than any other man I have ever met in my entire life. And I want to keep telling his story. I don't know exactly how I'm gonna do it right now because of COVID, like I said earlier, and due to that, I'm going to be homeschooling and assisting with virtual learning my children, and that has kind of changed the way that I view business. But I'm gonna figure it out. Point being, if you have a dream or if you have a vision or a story that you want to tell, don't let something get in your way. Write down your goal and just keep working at it. I thought I was gonna have this mini documentary done 6 months ago, but things have changed. I've gotten more equipment, so that's like an upside to this. I can tell the story in a way that I really want to. But please let me know in the comments if you have someone in your life that you find super inspiring, someone that you would like to tell a story about. I'd love to hear about it. You guys are literally some of my favorite people. Thank you for hanging out with me on this journey, and I look forward to growing with you. Peace.